Hi, this is Dave Markham. I live at King Street, Brockport, New York, and I wanted to talk with you this morning, which is Sunday, December 26, 2010, about what's happening with the Brockport Ambulance Corps. Some of you may know that the towns of Sweden and Clarkson have decided to switch their ambulance provider for the citizens in their towns to Monroe Ambulance from the Brockport Ambulance Corps. This is a terrible decision on the part of the town boards and will have dire consequences for the citizens of Clarkson, Sweden, and Brockport. First, the citizens of Clarkson and Sweden have absolutely nothing to gain by this move. The Brockport Ambulance Corps has provided excellent service with very fast response times and excellent care for over 2 or 3 decades now. They are staged right here in Brockport, and you have volunteers and sometimes paid EMTs respond to your calls. Monroe Ambulance has been providing backup care, but 90% of the emergency calls have been taken by the Brockport Ambulance Corps. They have an excellent record of providing service. The second thing you should know is that the Brockport Ambulance Corps is totally self-funded. All the operating revenue comes from third-party insurance payment, which gets billed at the time of the call. Brockport Ambulance Corps engages in what Chief Lucas Vandervoort calls soft billing, which means if people don't have insurance and have difficulty paying their bill, after a couple of attempts to collect, the Brockport Ambulance Corps will waive the charge. Monroe Ambulance Corps, on the other hand, engages in what has been called hard billing, meaning that failure to pay the ambulance bill will go to collection and wind up on a person's credit report. So, in addition to that, Brockport Ambulance Corps oftentimes does not bill if they get to the scene of the incident and the person for whom the ambulance was called refuses to utilize the ambulance then will leave and does not bill. However, for-profit ambulance companies like Monroe does bill. So there's a significant difference there, which increases the hardship for Sweden and Clarkson residents who are having financial difficulties. As I said, the towns of Sweden and Clarkson have nothing financially to gain by this move, and the move will result in an inferior service. Further, the citizens of Brockport who live in the village will be significantly damaged by this move. They will no longer be able to fund an ambulance corps, and the ambulance will be disbanded, so Village of Brockport residents will be subject to probably Monroe Ambulance or some other ambulance company like Rural Metro, and the Brockport residents will lose the revenue which the Brockport Ambulance Corps has been generating. That revenue the last few years has gone into the general fund, which has enabled the village to keep its tax rate lower. So without the revenue generated by the Brockport Ambulance Corps in the Village of Brockport general fund, in order to maintain the same levels of service in the village would have to raise property taxes to raise the additional revenue that they would be losing by losing the Brockport Ambulance Corps. So village residents lose a couple of ways. They lose an outstanding service that they have been receiving from Brockport Ambulance Corps. They are going to lose the revenue, which means property taxes are going to have to go up. And thirdly, the Brockport Ambulance Corps itself probably will disband, much to the grief and consternation of hundreds of volunteers who have volunteered over the years, feeling that they have made an important contribution to their community. So lastly, what we have here is kind of a change in ideology, a change in what it means to be community. What previously had been part of the commons had been provided by committed, devoted, competent, skilled volunteers who believe and have provided a more personalized human service to their neighbors and community, now is being privatized and will be taken over by a private company. This rends and tears the fabric of our community in ways that may be less tangible, but nonetheless lead to the commercialization and privatization of services which had been provided by our fellow citizens for the common good. I'm asking you to contact your council people and supervisors in the town of Clarkson and Sweden and ask them not to change their ambulance service from the Village of Brockport Ambulance Corps. The stakes are very high in making this move. It's been rushed here at the end of 2010 during the Christmas season. It appears to me to be kind of a sneak attack on the citizens of Clarkson, Sweden, and Brockport by the two supervisors, Jack Milner in Sweden and Paul Kimball in Clarkson, and their town council members, which is extremely perplexing given that the towns of Sweden and Clarkson have absolutely nothing to gain by making this switch, and they have a lot to lose in terms of competent, devoted, personal care at a time of healthcare emergency. The citizens of Brockport, who make up 2/3 of the town of Sweden, in other words, the town of Sweden has approximately 13,000 people in it. 8,000 of those 13,000 live in the Village of Brockport. So the town of Sweden Town Board is significantly damaging the citizens of the Village of Brockport, 2/3 of their constituents. Why they would do such a thing is an unanswered question. And people at the town of Sweden, our elected officials, need to be held accountable, because in making this switch, they are not serving the majority of their constituents, I'm sorry. They are deliberately damaging them. Please come to the meeting, which is being held this Tuesday, December 28th, at 7:15 p.m. at the Sweden Town Hall on State Street in Brockport, and express your opposition to this move. I'll see you there. Thanks for listening.